Welcome guys to another episode of my course. I know it's been so long since I began, but I'm back. Yeah. So I just a lot of things has been going on with me, but let's forget about all that and let's get straight to the course. So we're going to do a recap of where we were, and I guess we are done with the back end and everything with the backend. So we're going to load the backend here. So if you followed up with the video, you should know we created a backend for our program. So we have it here, so we can just run it. Terminal, new terminal. I've really zoomed out my screen so you can see. PHP artisan serve. So everything is running on localhost 8000. Okay, so this is a project we are working on, and this is the end product. This is what we are supposed to get when we are done with the project. Okay, so this is it. So when we click on a single post, so this is like the home page where it loads all the posts and the categories here. They are here. And this is like a single post. You can add a comment. Oh, look what I did. You can add a comment here and all that. So we're going to refresh it. So good. So now when we refresh, we get this. Are we supposed to get this? Okay, yeah, we're supposed to get this. So this is the backend. Okay, so now the backend is running. The backend is running now. So when I come to my REST API, and then I go to there's my okay, there is it. And then when I go to post, so localhost 8000 post, they're supposed to get all the posts that we have. So far we have 2 posts, just 2. Alright, we have just 2 posts in our API. So yeah, so I think we are done with everything in the backend. So I'm going to close this. So I think we are done with everything. So if I go to my controllers, so this PHP, right, we're using PHP for our backend. When I go to my post controller, yeah, I think we are done with everything. We are done with all the stuff. So if I fetch, let me see if I fetch a single post. I get a category. Okay, ID is 1. So when I go to ID 1, yeah, that's good. I get it. I get a category ID also, but I want to get the category information in a single post. Do I need that? Okay, we will find out from the front end when we are building the front end. So let's just jump into building the front end. Actually, that's the most interesting. So our API is working. We are connected. Our API is working, so we can just let's just leave it like this, and let's start a new Visual Studio Code window. Then we load our front end. Okay. Yeah, so our front end is in, so we can run our front end. You can see npm serve. So let me close this and let's check if we have it on GitHub. So I'm going to say git status. We have modified 2 things, and we say git remote. No, let me clear. So we're going to do git remote -v. Let's check the remote repository we have on the app. So we have one that goes to this repository on GitHub, code all day frontend. So let me see if I have that repository online, or I've deleted it. I might have deleted it or something. I don't know. So go to my profile, repositories. Okay, here is it. We have code all day frontend, right? Okay, we have the code all day. This is the backend. We have the code all day the frontend. Alright, good. yeah, so this goes to the front end. Okay, so code all the front end. All right, so okay, so anytime we do a git push, it's going to come here. So I think I added this already. So this is going to do git add everything to git commit. Let's say commit, and then just do a git push. Okay, so we're done. We pushed our stuff, so we can now exit, and then we can close it. Let's leave it on. So back to our front end. So let's see what we have. So this is a link. Alright, so come in here and paste it. Supposed to go to 8.1. Good. So this is what we have now. So we have just this, a single post. When you click, nothing happens, and this is hard coded. So we're going to do our magic on it. So we go to the post. So this is the post. Okay, so this now is going to be a component that's going to load all our posts. Alright, so when we go to post, we're supposed to get all the posts we have in the system. Alright, so no time to waste. I'm going to what should I do? So let's start ripping things up. So this now is going to maybe it's going to be post. You know what? Go back and let's just do the script inside. So go to script and I name this post with an S, and then I go to my data function, I return an object, and then I'm going to create post here, who's going to be an array, or post, who's going to be an array. Okay, and once the component is created, I'm going to load this called get posts. I'm going to load this method called get post. I'm going to create a method. Alright, and I'm going to run get post in here, and this now is going to make an HTTP request. So we can put it here, make HTTP request to get post. Alright, so this will make the HTTP request to get post, and how we'll do, we will now assign this dot post to response to the HTTP response. Alright, so we are going to assign this post to the HTTP response, and once that is done, so let's test it out with our postman. So we're going to make a request to this route, and we're going to get this as a response, post array of objects of all the posts. Okay, and then when we get that, we're going to assign it to this. Okay, that's all we have to do here. And then in here, what we do in here is that now that we have assigned the HTTP request to the post, now this array is going to be equal to what we have here. Alright, so now we can fetch the data from it. So we can fetch the data from there, and then we can do a mapping inside Vue called Vue, and we're going to map it all. So let's look at how we're going to do our HTTP requests. So we can do it right here with Axios. But we are going to look at an intelligent way to get our HTTP request without not doing Axios and everything. So we're going to do everything in our config. I don't have config. I think I opened this in another application. So we're going to create a new file called config.js. Yeah, so in our what's my router? I'm coming. Post. Alright, cool. Right, so in our config, we're going to write a function that will just return the HTTP request that we want. So for now, I'll leave things very simple. We don't have to, when we are hosting the site online, then we are going to write a function that will return a live host name and a local host. Let's just get to it. So I'm going to write a function that gets API URL. Okay, I'll get URL to make it more which is a function, and then we're going to say let's what name should I'm really bad at giving names. Let host name be equal to window dot location dot host name. So what this will give you is that it's going to give you the host name of the address that you are. So let's say we go here. So when I come here and then I say window the location the host name, and I go to enter, it tells me this is localhost. Get it? So let's copy the same thing and let's go to GitHub and let's expect what to console, clear everything, paste it. It tells me this is github.com. Right, so the host name gives you the host address of which site you are on. Right, so that is it. So now this is going to tell us which host name that we are on. Alright, good. So I'm going to write a conditional statement and say if host name is equal to, so if the host name is equal to localhost, that means if you are running the site locally, we connect to a local database on our system. We will have to worry the live database online. Alright, so when the host name is equal to localhost, what do? Well, we're going to return the localhost URL. The localhost URL is this. Okay, so we just paste it, and then we don't need this. Okay, we don't need this. So this is a localhost URL / API. That's all that we need. Else if, and we bring your stuff. So else if also host name is equal to maybe netlify.com or something. You understand? If it's equal to something else or wherever you're going to host your API or your website, so you're going to host your website like Heroku or maybe Netlify or your own domain, you can put it here, maybe alldaycode.com. So for now, maybe Netlify. So if it's equal to netlify.com, then connect to our live API. Okay, so now return maybe so since it's live, you cannot connect to localhost because it's not running on your system, so it has to run on maybe something. So maybe the URL will be api.devstress.com/API. This will be your, or let's say devstress.com. That is your API routes where you're hosting your API. So probably maybe API dot, it will probably be in a subdomain, so api.devstress.com. So yeah, something like this. And we're done. So we can leave the code like this. Since it's a function, it's just an if statement. There's still a return statement. So we can still return a default. Okay. So for now, since we are working local, let's return a default of localhost because we are working locally. So we can still return localhost like that, and then we can put this whole thing, this whole function in a variable. Okay, and then this API is equal to get URL function. Alright, so now this will be equal to whatever it returns. That is this or this. I hope that makes sense. So we can now export Now the export here, we're going to say we can export posts. Okay, so the post URL. The post URL will be equal to API URL plus, so the post URL is equal to this is the API URL. Okay, this is always going to be the API URL, and then the slash API is already there, so we need just post, right? So plus post, right? So I think it makes sense now if you get it. So this is going to be, I mean, this is it's not equal to this. So our config is done. Sorry, it has to be a comma. We are adding more data here, but we just need post for now, so we can save it. I hope there are no errors. Yeah, so there are no errors for now in our post. So now our config is done. We set up our host name, everything is working. We have our post. So now we can we can go to our folder and create an API. Oh, I've already created it. So create a directory called API in your source, and inside create a new file, and you can name it posts.js. Alright, good. So you can make this small letters. Alright, so post.js, right? So in here, now we are going to install Axios, and Axios will help us now fetch the request that we want. And then we're going to make the request inside post right here. So let me see if we have Axios. Okay, we have Axios installed. So install Axios, you can just do npm install Axios, right? And this installs Axios in the system. So, and Axios will help us make HTTP request. Okay, so now that we are here, we can now start importing what we need. So we need a config. Import config form. So we are in what? We are in the directory API. So we go out of the API and we're out of the API. What is config? Okay, yeah. Okay, that is it. Config. So we need config, and now we need to import Axios from Axios. And also we need Vue. We're going to create a new Vue instance for Axios from what is it? Vue. And then I'm going to say vue.use Axios, like that. So we're done. So we can now also export this. Good. So now we're going to create our request. So the first request we can create, we're going to just name it post service. You can name it post API or whatever you want. So the first request we're going to press is get post or get post. Look at that. Get all the posts, alright. So in the get post, what do we need? So we need a URL. So URL is now equal to config.post URL. You get it? So the post URL is equal to the API URL / post. And that is exactly what we need, right? So that is a URL. And now that we have a URL, we can now return Axios. We can say Axios to make the request for us .get, and we'll just pass in the URL, and it will just do our promise stuff. We just create our promise. You don't have to create a promise on the usually response, and you promise that resolve and promise that reject. And then response or data, that's what we need, right? And then we can go to the catch is and there's promise or reject. just so everything is okay. Let me see. Yeah, everything is okay. So we get and then this and then that and then that. So we can save it now. Done. So now we have our we have our get post API ready. All right. So we come in here, get post API. So now let's make an HTTP request in here. So we're going to import post service from so we go out of here. Let me just use add. Look at API. This is going to source at API / posts. This should work. So we have post service. So we have now let's make the API request. So we just say post service dot get post. Right. We don't need the parameter. We are not passing anything inside here. All we need to just get the post first, and then the response. Alright. So once we get a response, the response is this right here. So everything is in the post. Okay, the response is the object that we have here. Alright. So we say so this the post should be equal to response dot post. Right. Some people do it data. Some people name here data. You can name anything you want. Alright, so that is it. So we are done. We are done assigning. So anything I can add. This one I'm getting the post right. No loader. Okay, I'll add a loader later on. So we can say catch. So if it catches any error, we can say. So here we can create a global error handler that handles all our error in the mixing. But for now, let's just console. Let's just console and log the error. Alright, simple. So we should have everything. So let's also console the table. This is the post. So let's see if whatever we send inside this is working. Let's just do that stuff. Now let's save. So everything is fine, no errors. So let's go to our blah blah blah. We have been blogging course. So we need to enable course in our backend. Okay, so we can send the HTTP request to other. So we need to enable calls here. So I think I'll do that in my next video. So in the next video, we'll look at how we can enable calls so that we can send a request, and then we won't be getting this error from Chrome. Alright, so in the next video, we'll look at how we can do that.